considered. Amendment 6 by Towns, previously considered, rolled to its current location.
Representative Towns, you're recognized.
Madam Speaker, roll this one to the Hill.
Without objection.
Take up the next
Hill.
amendment.
Next amendment.
Amendment 7 by Towns, previously considered, rolled to its current location.
Representative Towns, you're recognized.
Ladies and gentlemen, the amendment actually, here again, is self-explanatory, and the reasonings are basically the same. 10% should never dictate to 100%, nor 90%. This is an attempt to let the citizens of whatever municipality be heard by 40% of that particular body. With that, Madam Speaker, I move the adoption again on that amendment, Amendment 7.
Representative Towns moves adoption of amendment number 7. Properly seconded. Representative Carter.
That's an unfriendly amendment, and I move it to the table.
Proper motion, properly second. The parliamentary situation is Representative Towns has moved the adoption of amendment number 7. Representative Carter has moved that motion to the table. That cuts off all debate except for that of the sponsor. Representative Towns, you are recognized.
Here again, members. It's happening before your very eyes to a municipality, and it's subject to happen to your area at some point in time. Remember, everything in this body is fluid, and things change. And you're creating a situation where you create these rules, you have to live under these rules, and these are not good for some of your major cities that generate the revenue in this state. The money that this state actually generates come from primarily your major cities. The revenue does. This is impeding the ability of us to be able to hire fire and police, pension plans that have to be taken care of, all the above, all the normal activity that any city has to create ledgers for and be able to take care and pay expenses for. And this is an attempt to ensure that that's not interrupted. Move adoption.
The parliamentary situation is that Representative Towns has moved adoption of amendment number 7. Representative Carter has moved that motion to the table. We are voting on the tabling motion. All those in favor vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Aye, 71, 24 nay.
The ayes have it. The motion is tabled. Next amendment.
Amendment 8 by Towns, previously considered and rolled to its current location.
Representative Towns, you're recognized.
Madam Speaker, Amendment 8, members, I'm pretty sure you peered at it. This amendment is simply seeking to do is to, while I think retroactively it's something that reveals the diabolical intent of this bill, this seeks to make it 5 years, retroactive 5 years. How in the world do you go back 18 years and change the boundary lines of a city? So this is something that possibly our cities can live with, which would make it retroactive to only 5 years. With that explanation, I move adoption.
Parliamentary situation is Representative Towns has moved adoption of amendment number 8. Representative Carter has moved that motion to the table.
Right.
Voting. Oh, I'm sorry. Representative Carter?
Yes, ma'am. I find that to be an unfriendly amendment. I move it to the table.
Proper motion, properly second. The parliamentary situation is Representative Towns has moved the adoption of amendment number 8. Representative Carter has moved that motion to the table. That cuts off all debate except for that of the sponsor. Representative Towns, you're recognized.
As I've shared with you, members, the unfriendly aspect of it is what this representative is attempting to do to our city. He becomes public enemy number 1 as it relates to Memphis and some of these other areas. That's being unfriendly when you're going to dictate to 600 plus thousand people what you want done. That's unfriendly. When you're going to change the financial boundaries, you're going to change the landscape, that's unfriendly. When you're going to tell the city that it can no longer do business the way it has been doing business, that's unfriendly. The only unfriendly aspect in this chamber today is what's coming from the podium up there. And the people in that neck of the woods don't take it kindly, and they don't like it because it is unfriendly, intently so unfriendly. And to use the jargon that the amendment is unfriendly is almost insane when you're trying to decimate an area with this bad, unfriendly, hateful bill. That's what's unfriendly in this chamber today. You don't live in our area, and we don't need your help, ever. And at some point, it appears that the way the dumping is going is because there's a minority city, an African-American city primarily, that these kinds of bills crop up. And that reeks of a very high stench to me, because this is not the first time y'all have imposed yourself on our business in Shelby County or in Memphis, Tennessee. And everybody has a sense of what's going on. And you can't sugarcoat it with your jargon. You're being unfriendly to my city. Land grab, money grab. And no one appreciates that. If you're going to do business, do fair. Fair fight is a fair fight. And this is unfair. And it's unrighteous. And none of the major players in our city wants this bill. As I was saying, none of the major players, the businesses, the citizens, the mayor, no one wants this bill. So what gives you the gall to dictate to us? No one is that smart to tell us what we need to do. Handle your own business in your own backyard and get out of our business.
The parliamentary situation is that Representative Towns has moved the adoption of amendment number 8. Representative Carter has moved that motion to the table. We're voting on the tabling motion. All those in favor vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Aye, 70-25 nay.
The ayes have it. The motion is tabled. Next amendment.
Madam Speaker, members, we're back on Amendment 9 by Fitzhugh, spread on the member's desk, previously considered, rolled to its current location.
Representative Fitzhugh, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have some personal opinions about the bill, but there are a couple of things that these